Hello, my fellow poultry farmer. Today I want to talk about improving your indigenous chicken. Over 75% of chicken reared in Kenya are indigenous, known as kienyeji, the others being broilers and layers. The high prevalence of the local birds is due to ease to rear, high resistance to common diseases and pests, customer preference for their eggs and meat taste, adaptation to all ecological zones of the country, ready market and low-cost feeding, and housing due to their scavenging nature. Their disadvantage include low egg production, 30 to 75%, small eggs per year as compared to 200 to 280 produced by the improved indigenous chicken, low mature weight of about 1.6 kg female and 2.2 for males at 6 months as compared to the same weight for improved kienyeji at 5 months. For high production, there is need for change in kienyeji chicken management, more so the disease control aspect. Breeds. Indigenous chicken breeds include naked neck, frizzo-feathered, dwarf, crested head, feathered shanks, and lamprey. To address productivity challenges of indigenous chicken, improved indigenous chicken that include Kembro, Kali improved kienyeji, rainbow rooster, and broiler were introduced in the market. However, adoption of these birds come with the need for better management and commercialization for enhanced productivity. For instance, while farmers have not been vaccinating the indigenous chicken against diseases like Guboro, Newcastle, fowlpox, fall typhoid, and infectious coryza, with indigenous improved chicken, they have to strictly follow the vaccination schedule. The vaccination program involves administration of Guboro on day 10 and a booster on day 18. Newcastle fowlpox at 3 weeks, fall typhoid and Newcastle disease with bronchitis booster at 8 weeks, that is 2 months. Second Newcastle booster at 4.5 months and a booster every 3 months thereafter. Deworming of the bird also should be given priority and be carried out 3 months for adults and months for chicks, incubators, and brooding. Indigenous chicken is self-propagating by producing a number of eggs per batch clutch, with the routine being 3 to 6 per year. The chicken used to sit on or incubate each batch for 3 weeks to produce chicks. However, the improved indigenous chicken has poor incubating properties, thus farmers have to use commercial incubators. The use of an incubator implies that many chicks will be produced at the same time, thus intensification of the production systems in terms of brooding, housing, and feeding. Some of the diseases whose incidences have shot up with intensification of the incubation improved chicken include Malex coccidiosis. Malex is highly contagious viral disease of poultry characterized by cancer of the various parts of the body, especially the internal organs, damage to major nerves like those of the legs and wings, leading to paralysis and infiltration of white blood cells in the skin and eye, leading to blindness. In case the eyes are affected, studies show confined local chicken have prevalence rate of 72.9% for Malex disease as compared to free-range chicken. Massive production of improved indigenous chicken thus calls for mass vaccination of these birds against Malex disease. The biggest challenge with Malex vaccination is lack of small vaccine package. The lowest is 1,000 dose pack. Coccidiosis has been a challenge even for indigenous chicken. The clinical signs include bloody and yellowish diarrhea, ruffled feathers and death. Control include regular changing of the bedding materials in houses and use of non-leaking water drinkers. Coccidiostat drugs that control coccidiosis are also incorporated in the chicks' feed. Feeding. Unlike the former single feed formula for the indigenous chicken that covered all the growth stages of the chicken, innovative feed manufacturers have now come up with a chick growers and layers formulation for both indigenous chicken and improved indigenous chicken. Since the improved indigenous chickens are multi-purpose, that is meat and eggs, farmers who intend to produce meat feed the chicks with broilers starter clubs for the first 3 weeks, kienyeji chick startup to 8 weeks, and kienyeji growers thereafter. Those who specialize on layers use the same formula to chick mash, then growers to 4 months, layers thereafter. Housing. Unlike the free-range indigenous chicken that are left to scavenge for food, and they are either housed in a makeshift house or inside the family house at night. Improved indigenous chicken requires an improved hen house that reduces chill and provide adequate ventilation, sunshine, and sunlight. You should also protect the chickens from predators, be easily cleanable to facilitate indices and parasites control, and laying boxes introduced just before the laying to avoid having cracked and soiled eggs that spoil easily. Was it helpful? Kindly support by